Okay, it's time for you to taste.
I was always really, really excited about food. I think a little bit more oil. I would sit and watch my mom cook growing up. I would read the few cookbooks that we had cover to cover.
Oh, that's funny. It doesn't even tell you how.
I remember there was like a restaurant listings website that I would just read religiously, even if we had no intention of visiting these restaurants. I think it needs a little more salt. So you want to taste it? My mom basically did everything to promote and like nurture my interest in food. I don't think she knew how far that it would end up going, but cooking together was like a real early point of connection and one that we sort of had our whole lives. My name's Priya Krishna. I'm a food reporter for the New York Times and the author of the cookbooks Indianish and Cooking at Home.
Can I give you a bowl?
Yeah. For centuries of food writing, we have focused on white chefs cooking primarily European food. And I really try to center and normalize perspectives that are non-white, non-Euro, maybe sometimes even non-restaurant. I think that's an important counterbalance to the years and years of writing on French fine dining restaurants in coastal cities. It all started when our family friends gifted me this pretend soup cookbook. So what year?
Somewhere in the 94, 95 time frame,
Okay.
because if you look, it says preschool.
But I didn't start using it until I was like after
Yes.
preschool.
Yeah. I mean,
I was coming from a household where we were predominantly eating Indian food. So this book, which is a pretty like white American sampling of food, all of these dishes felt really strange and exotic to me. This one I remember, I read this popover recipe so
we
many
ever
times.
make it? Did we ever make it?
No, we never made it. There was one recipe, it was called green spaghetti. I had eaten spaghetti, but it had only ever been tomato sauce, so the notion of spaghetti that was green just like blew my little mind.
It's like a cheese pasta, but
It was really this idea that like a recipe was part of a cookbook, and a cookbook was like a mini world that you could explore, and that food could really open you up to worlds you never knew existed prior. For some reason, that particular book and that particular recipe felt world opening to me. Wait, aren't we using this, Mom?
no, I'm going to do half of it.
But we have this much pesto.
It'll be enough for this, trust me. So how did we zero in on making the green spaghetti?
I think realistically, it was probably your call. I'm sure there were a lot of
really?
things I wanted to make.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't really want to make a soup with orange juice and bananas.
That's probably true. My interest in food, almost immediately after coming to America, I found all these TV programs, PBS programs, where I was watching Ming Tsai and Yan Can Cook and Julia Child, and I just enjoyed watching and then experimenting. Once the kids came, and Priya was always more demanding than Meera ever was. That was, in a way, a nice challenge. I wish I had more time, but given the time constraint, I did the best I could. Does it need salt, pepper?
It's great.
Yeah?
It's really great.
Good. You want a spoon?
Early on, it was her teaching me, and now it sort of seems like this very fun exchange of ideas.
yes.
But it's very much also, now that I've been around some of the best food writers and recipe developers and restaurants, and I've been so lucky, I really have a deeper appreciation for how good my mom is at what she does.
Pesto pasta and a bean salad. Yeah, but don't eat it. Yeah, you gotta wait till we go outside.
You want it in your bowl or separate?
For me, my family is everything. They are like, the reason I get up in the morning, and how we have long shared and connected with one another is through food.
I think I credit you with single-handedly expanding the awareness of chonk.
Oh my God. It definitely was not single-handed, Dad. For like most of my high school experience, I really sort of turned away from Indian food.
Spice.
But I will say, when I was starting out in my career, it was really wonderful to like reconnect with my food and my heritage and start to cook Indian food again and start to talk to my mom and my dad about like, okay, why do we make this dish? You know, where did you learn to make this? One day I'll be able to like tell my kids like our family history through the lens of what we ate, and that's really cool.